Mic check, mic check, mic check. Good evening, good evening, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Put a one in the chat if you can hear me. Put a one in the chat if you can hear me. Okay. We lost camera. We lost our camera. All right. Put a one in the chat if you can hear me. All right, guys. Stand by, stand by, stand by. Okay, guys. All right. So we're on verdict watch. We are on verdict watch, and I should. Okay, hold on, hold on, hold on. Stand by, guys. Stand by. Hold on. Okay, there we go. Oh my goodness. Okay, okay. Man, I had my camera off. All right, guys. How's my sound? How's my sound? I think we have a verdict. Hold on a second. Not verdicts. Sentence. Why did I say verdict watch? That's misleading. A sentence watch. Hold on. Let's see here. What do we have here? What do we have here, ladies and gentlemen? Stand by. Stand by. Okay, here we go. We have we have we have no sentence, ladies and gentlemen. We have no sentence. Got to come back tomorrow. Got to come back tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. We have no sentence today. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to get you all riled up, but I just got the notification. There is no sentence today. Got to come back tomorrow. Nothing. Zilch. Nothing. It was getting long, with these 70 letters plus you had the judge going over the aggravating circumstances. We thought it was going to come in today, but it's going to happen tomorrow. I mean, it's if people have made plans who have flown from another part of the country to be there, hopefully were smart enough to not book it for one day. Usually sentences take one day. This is unusual. This should have been over today, but because of all the letters and all the things that the judge had to go over and allow the victim impact statement to be read. This is longer than most sentencings. I've covered murder trials that have taken less time to sentence. Just incredible. Just incredible. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why this is taking so long. This is not a murder trial. This is not a murder trial. This is a sentencing hearing. This is not a murder trial. This is no one lost their life, but this is taking a long time. Why do you think the judge hasn't sentenced him yet? What do you think is the delay? I mean, So was I gotta I have listen. This is I'm gonna share this comment here. He had the guy. Just think about that. To have your barber or the guy who gave him a hair plant transplant, not a barber, but transplant, to write a letter to the judge. What could have said? He's a great client. What? This is taking too long. At this point, there needs to be, if there's another day delayed, then I don't know what's going on. I don't think Tory's going to get. I'll be honest with you. I'm bringing in. Hold on 1 second. Still no sentence. Okay, let's see. Let me see if I can get her on the phone, guys. I want you to tell me if you can hear. I'm calling her now on the line. Guys, put a one in the chat if you can hear the phone ringing. Put a one in the chat if you can hear the phone ringing. Okay, so trying to get
Call has been forwarded to an automatic voice.
okay, so I'm trying to get her on the phone real quickly. Hold on a second here. She's at the courthouse right now. Okay, good. Okay.
Fine. Okay. I'll call you tomorrow. I mean, I'll see you tomorrow, and I'll put your name down. Okay. Well, you don't need that. Yeah, just you premium. All right. Hey, Dennis.
Hey, what's up? How you doing?
I'll call you tonight. All right. Hey. What's
Hey.
up?
Okay, so we on a live call. I know there's no. We're on a live call right now. We're on a live call on YouTube. I know you just got out of the court. We know there's no sentencing. Quick question. Why do you think there's such a delay?
You're calling me to interview me, Dennis. Hey, family. It's Afi from the Black Letter Law. Go to my Twitter and YouTube. Now,
I'm gonna type it in. I'm gonna type your contact in right now.
Okay.
So real quick.
I have to. I'm about to be in the underground. So
okay.
My phone's gonna disconnect.
Okay. So this is attorney
Afi Patterson, AFI Patterson.
Afi Patterson. She's in the court right now, and everyone's saying greetings, how are you, and so forth. Why do you think it's a delay? I mean, you were there all day.
It's not a delay. It's not a delay. We just talked about they had to present evidence for aggravating and mitigating factors.
Okay.
And that's what they did. So they haven't finished. So they're going to go back tomorrow morning, and the judge, I guess, is going to read over whatever notes you took today and make a decision and enter order a sentence tomorrow.
Okay. Was there a letter read in from Megan Thee Stallion? The impact letter?
Yes, she did an impact letter. I couldn't hear you. Say it again.
Was it okay? So Megan Thee Stallion had an victim impact letter read into the it was read into the record, correct?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. What stood out for you with that letter? What stood out for you?
I don't remember. It's in my notes, but it's in my notes. I guess like maybe the trauma that it's caused their life.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't have it right now. I took like a slew of notes.
Okay.
I can look at it and get.
When it was read into the court, did you see a major reaction from the people in the courtroom?
Not really.
How
It's
was
the same people that have been there. It's the same.
when the letter was being read in? Did Tory react? Did he look? How did he look? Guys, I think we lost her. She's going underground. Okay, so we lost her, but she says it wasn't delayed. The judge will be rendering his decision tomorrow. I know. Where's Pam? I know. Where's Pam at? I mean, I don't know. See what happens when now I won't listen. Hey, people work differently. People work differently. Let me hit Pam up real quick. Let me hit Pam. Everybody's looking for Pam. Let me hit Pam up. I know Pam is not underground. I know Pam doesn't ride the subway. So let's see if Pam picks up.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice.
You see, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. I know someone else is on a live right now. I'm not going to call them right now, but we don't have a sentence yet tomorrow. But that's what it is. What do you guys think about Iggy? What do you think about that's what she's texting me now? What do you think about Iggy Azalea writing a letter to the judge? And why do you think no other celebrities, major celebrities, have written a letter to the judge in support of Tory Lanez? What's your thoughts on that, ladies and gentlemen? Do you think that it's interesting that no big major celebrities have come out in support? When I say support is writing a letter, making an appeal to the judge. I mean, his fellow Canadian Drake didn't write a letter to the judge. I mean, how do you reconcile that these celebrities have not really came out in full support of him? Did DJ Academics even write a letter? Does anyone know if DJ Academics wrote a letter? I don't think DJ Academics wrote a letter. Uh, Big Act, give us a call. I want to find out why didn't you write a letter? I don't know. I mean, it's one thing to get on social media and you can show your support through social media, but these judges are not looking at social media. They are, but they aren't. They want something that is formal, that is written, that is can be entered into evidence on the record, not a social media post. I don't know if he didn't want to reach out to his celebrity friends. I don't know what what good it would do, but I think it's important that that shows support in the court when you have a judge that is about to sentence your friend, quote unquote friend, uh, to a lot of time. I think it's important that you come out and you at least show that this guy has friends in the community. He has people, his family came out and everything, but I don't know. I don't think that question that certain people are not allowed in the court uh, because of whatever happened prior. So certain people just didn't show up today. And I see the question that you asked. I'm not gonna do that to. Well, well, he hasn't showed up. Oh, why am I? Yeah, he hasn't showed up to the trial, so I don't know. Let's see here. Okay, why do you think that? Wait a minute. Isn't there some kind of connection between uh Iggy and Megan? Some kind of connection somehow? If so, let me know. I don't know. She didn't. Iggy didn't show up. Iggy didn't show up at the trial per se. Her letter showed up, but she never showed up for the trial. So I don't know. But is there some kind of connection? Yes, his father spoke and the chaplain spoke, and I think that might weigh in his favor, Toria. I think that may weigh. I think that may weigh in his favor that you had someone from the county jail, the chaplain, who said some pretty kind words about him, saying that he leads a prayer session at night when lights are out, and that there was another jailer who also said something nice about him. So the question is he redeemable? I think Tory's redeemable. Do I think that he deserves probation? I don't see that happening. I don't see that happening. Do I think he should get a lot of time? That's a hard call. That's a hard call. And I would like to know exactly what was in the letter that Megan wrote. What was in the letter that Megan wrote, and did she specifically ask for the judge to sentence him to a lot of time? I think that is important because that's the victim actually making a request. And we need to know exactly the particulars to that. Yeah, okay. Um, well, him writing the letter, if Drake wrote a letter, would that end his career? Absolutely not. I mean, I don't know. Just I start thinking about what Jamie Foxx said about fake friends, and you have a lot of industry friends. There's a lot of there's a lot of people in the industry that call each other friends and everything. But when the shit hits the fan, there's another situation, different reaction. They don't pull up like you think they would pull up. They don't show their support like you think they would show their support. So I don't know if this is one of those cases where they don't want to be associated with him, and it could be that, and they have the right to do that. I mean, this is definitely not something that you want to uh, hitch yourself to this type of wagon. You don't want to hit yourself to this type of wagon. It's like this guy was accused of shooting a woman. So I get it, and that but it also says a lot about Iggy. Like she really came out and wrote a letter. So I don't know. It must be something there. I don't know exactly what's there and why she came out and wrote the letter, but I think that it's more to the story. I want to hit some of these comments here. I see you guys having questions, and let's see when was taunting and harassing. Okay. Well, uh, the online behavior might play a factor. Uh, in fact, had he not got online and said some things after the shooting, maybe she wouldn't have been so gun ho, no pun intended, and wanted to see this thing go all the way. You know, she obviously was being attacked by. She was getting attacked today. She's getting attacked online right now, and if I don't, I hope the judge doesn't look at the online activity, but she's getting attacked right now, and the fact of the matter is, people are going to say what they want to say online, but it's just I don't know if he should be held accountable for what other people say, about her. Just I don't know. Marissa Mayhem, we're not talking about her right now. We're not talking about her right now. That's not even a topic. We're not talking about. I said earlier, I probably won't be talking about uh the blogger lady. I said I probably won't be talking much about her. You know, so what? Okay, I'll share this for you. This is what you want. You want that? Yeah, you want people. Yeah. Now go troll that. Go troll Yaya's page. He said free Tory. Okay, before he was okay. Okay. Okay, that's it. That's a connection. All right. Okay. All right. So that's a connection. Um, I DJ DJ Sapphire. Are you certain about that? Are you certain about that? She signed to his label because that would explain things. She needs to get back out there and get to work. She needs a CEO out. I guess that would be a motivating factor. I mean, that would make sense. Let's see here. That may be a something the judge may have took note of as well. You know, we do know that uh, he did appear on the stage with the young man and what's the rapper name? It was the baby. The baby. He came on the baby set, and I think Megan was close in the vicinity. I don't know if she was about to get on, but yep, that would be the baby. Well, we don't know what the paperwork is, but if there is fact to support that she's signed to his label, then it would make sense that she would come out and support him. I just think it's interesting that all these people that were Tory supporters and they were coming out and no one's written all these. I would expect to have been more than 70 letters just on GP, just writing the judge on GP. But he got 70 letters, and we don't know how many of those letters he even know of those people. Do we know they know all those 70 people that wrote the letters? Because sometimes people just write in the court and say, "Listen, Your Honor, please don't." And I would guess there may be some strangers that have written letters to the judge as well. Let's see here. Let's see here. I saw that. Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely. I'm trying to bring your comment up here. Let's see here. Judge ain't considering none of that. That has nothing to do with the sentencing. That has nothing to do with the sentencing. Um, I don't know why you said that. I don't know why you said that, but it had nothing to do with the sentencing. It will have nothing to do with the sentencing. Okay, so he executive produced the album. Okay, that would be that would make sense. Okay. Has she DJ has she released any songs to the has she released any songs, or is that on stand on is that on did they table that? Has she released any songs that he executive produced? That'd be interesting to know. Is she a fake friend? I don't know. I'm not saying she's a fake friend. Let's see here. What we got here? That is a fact. That is a fact. That's a fact. Uh, no one, no one wants to risk their bag in support of this type of case, and I get it. I get it. But Drake, you think Drake will be at risk? I mean, aren't they cool? I don't know. I just think that I don't know. Different times. Different times. 30 years ago, this wouldn't even be a question. It's the whole social media and how viral the letters are going to be public. The letters are going to be public. I would guess it'll be scanned into the record probably by Wednesday. We should have the letters by Wednesday or Thursday because those are part of the record. The judge has to sign off and release that. But the letters are something that they don't need to really seal unless someone requests that the letter not be released to the public. That may happen. Someone may ask that there well, it's going to be redactions on the letter, but I don't know. I don't know if everyone want their letters read in the court. Hey, he shot. Yeah, he shot. I don't know if I would say shot in the. He shot it. The bullet ricocheted. In my opinion, the way the evidence looked, the bullet ricocheted. The fragments hit a foot, but it wasn't a whole shell, a whole slug in a foot. So I don't know. Yeah, That might be the case too. That might be the case too. But if anyone's saying that the slug went in, the slug didn't go in the foot. They were fragments. They were fragments. She didn't have a whole slug in her foot. They were fragments. Well, I need to find out again if he even spoke. Hold on 1 second. I'm trying to get Pam up here.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic.
Oh, she's okay. She's okay. She just texted me. Okay. Well, we will have to wait for the update, ladies and gentlemen. Uh, we do know that there is no sentencing. So, with that said, we'll just have to wait another day. I know. I agree with you. I agree with you because yes, I agree with you. Absolutely. Yes, I agree with you. Um, yeah, just I'm sending this here. I'm gonna post this here. I'm gonna bring you up real quick here. All right, click that link if you have any thoughts on what this sentencing will look like tomorrow. I just posted the link there. You don't have to get on camera, but you do have to. If you want to get on camera, you can get on camera, but you have to have good audio. So click on the link. Let's talk about whether or not you think this. What do you think about this process here? Do you think that Tory will get a stiff sentence, or do you think that he will get more lenient sentence with everything that's been said so far? And what impact do you think that these letters will have in the sentencing phase? So the link is posted there. I'm going to pin it here, but you can also click the link if you want to come up. Rome, I know you are probably at work, so I don't know if you can get on camera. Uh, I know you're probably at work. Okay, let me bring you up here. I have one person to bring up here. Hey,
Hello, how are you?
can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yes. I think Tory is gonna get 10 years, roughly, around there.
Why do you think so?
Well, they didn't really prove whether he did it or not. Like, we're not 100% sure if he really did it. It's just his public persona. People are divided out there. It's not 100% sure that he actually did it. They didn't really prove it. We can assume he did, but there's no real proof that he actually did it 100%. So if you give him 10 years, people on both sides will be satisfied. You give him 20, people that are for Tory are going to go crazy. You give him one year probation, people are not going to be happy. They're going to find a common ground. 10 years, flat.
I agree with you. I think it would probably be about 10 years, maybe 9.
Yeah, maybe not.
But the prosecution asked for 13 years. But what we learned today that there were 3 mitigating factors that the judge had to evaluate, and he found that the prosecution proved two of them, but they didn't prove the third one. So that
Mm.
may give opportunity for the judge to shave some of the time off that he was considering giving him. Who's the other
Mm.
person up? Mila, Mike, Mike, you up? Are you going to speak, Mike? Mike, we're about to remove you, Mike.
Can you hear me?
I can
Can
hear
you
you
hear
now.
me?
Okay.
Okay, okay. So I mean, I'm gonna just give a different kind of opinion, just based off of the fact that unfortunately, like I got in trouble in California. I live out here.
Okay.
Been out here for about 10 years, so I kind of know how it works a little bit when it comes to the sentencing guidelines.
Can I
But
ask you how much time did you do? And did you do any state time?
I did state time. I ended up I got into a fist fight 2013. I had to do 4 years with 85%. So I did about 3 years, 4 months.
You got a fist fight and you had to do 4
Yeah.
years?
They gave me battery with serious bodily injury, man. Yeah.
How much did you have to do of that 4 years?
3 years, 4 months.
What is it, 95% time?
It was 85%, but the actual credit earning system actually changed in 2021. So that's what I was gonna kind of give you some insight on too.
Let's
So
talk about it.
if he does, so they have a thing called Proposition 57, which basically it allows the California Department of Corrections to allow violent felonies, and as well as nonviolent felonies to earn more good time work time credits. So prior to that, you had to serve 85% if you were a violent felon. Now you're only gonna have to do 66%.
Oh,
And
really?
then, yes, this changed in 2021. So, and also if they give him, let's say they give him
A drug
12
program.
years, yeah, even still, like they have facilities where they can send him to a drug program inside of prison, and he can also earn extra credits doing that. You can earn like six months to a year just off getting a GED in prison.
So
So
if he got 10 years, he would have to do 6.5 years.
correct,
Basically.
and it'll probably be less than that because they're gonna make him do some kind of treatment plan programs and things like that.
Guys, hold on one second.
Okay, I'm mute.
Hey, Pam.
You have officially
Pam, we live. Pam, we live. Everyone's listening to you.
Well, you have officially worked my nerves today. I don't care if you live. The hell?
So Pam, so I'm talking to someone who's explaining the sentencing guidelines in California. But did Tory speak today?
No, that's why I texted you and told you we're having part 2. So it started out where they went over the mitigating factors because the prosecutor asked for 3 different enhancement based on the mitigating factors. You know, those carry, I think, 3 years apiece, 2 years apiece or something. That's where they got the 13 years from. And the judge agreed with 2 of the factors, but not 1.
Yeah, I was just saying that.
Yeah. And then after that, so then they started with the statements for the sentencing. So people started saying how great he was and all the work that he does, and he did to everybody and their mamas and all of that. And then this afternoon, you know, his dad ended it. Then this afternoon, they started out with a psychologist. So I guess he's trying to do a mitigating factor, saying that he has an alcohol disorder coupled with PTSD, coupled with anxiety disorder. But the issue was he's not admitting to doing anything. So how do you really say that your conduct was affected by this alleged diagnosis?
It's like they're talking out to both sides of their mouth.
It's like I refer it to the OJ. If I would have done it, this is how I would have did it. Remember that book?
Yes. Yes.
This is kind of like what they're doing right now. It's not making sense. I have a video at Jose Baez when you were calling me and I was trying to video this man that I was gonna send to you, but you messed up my video. Okay. He sucked. I'm sorry. That was a waste of money. But
oh my goodness.
That's just my opinion. The judge was asking him, how does this correspond? Like, how do you say he has a mental issue, but then you're saying he ain't do nothing? Like, it has to be some type of
some kind of admission of some type of admission of guilt or something, because you just can't say this.
Well, he's trying to generally admit, I was drinking. We shouldn't argue. I shouldn't have let you out. I shouldn't have did what I did. But that's not what is your conduct that caused you to be found guilty. Is what is applicable, not the surrounding. So they're like trying to dance around it. And Jose Baez said that he's still maintaining his innocence. He sure did.
So that's crazy. So is the judge even going to listen to that argument? Because the lawyer is.
The judge is the main one saying you're not making any sense. Like, how are you?
Did the judge say that?
What Baez is basically saying, trying to say that you're making him give up his constitutional right as an attorney. Because let me back up. When you look at the psychologists who testified, first of all, they found a second opinion psychologist who doesn't even have the same opinions necessarily as the first one they had. So the first one said he didn't have PTSD, but he had an alcohol disorder. But the second one they found for sentencing purposes, this new attorney said he has PTSD. So the judge pointed that out, like, how you gonna, which one should I believe? Like, which
Wow.
which one of your people should I believe? You know? And then so that's kind of what started all. I mean, and he act like he just was not prepared for these questions the judge had to ask. Jose Baez sounds like he thought he was gonna come in here and he was gonna give his speech,
right,
and wasn't gonna answer any questions, didn't have to, the judge wasn't gonna question anything he said. And that's just not how this went. This was almost like a mini hearing where the judge was definitely asking a bunch of questions and writing a whole bunch of stuff down. So he's taking it very seriously. He's very attentive. To me, Tory looked defeated to me. Like when I saw him, I said, "Ooh, he looks bad."
Wow.
But then we learned from the psychologist they got him on medication for him to go to sleep and for something else. So it may just be that why he just looks zoned to me. Then of course, and the issue too, the judge said, you're saying he has alcohol issues. He said, but you had 75 statements and nobody mentioned that. Out of all them 75 statements, nobody saying that he had alcohol.
The judge said that.
Sure did.
So that sounds like he's going to ignore those letters.
I don't think he's going to take it into effect, because they all pretty much said how he just gives a lot. I mean, we can't take that from him. I don't even think that the prosecutors argue against. The DA has no reason to argue against that. He does give a lot. There were people that came up from organizations in tears because he gave hundreds of thousands of dollars to people, and they don't have that anywhere because he's in jail. So I guess like the baby mama, she came up and she talked, and she basically said he's the rock of the family. She's known him since the 6th grade. Their son is like 6, and pretty much was talking about how he gives and he gives and he gives, to the point where she almost tells him to stop giving and all of that because he just does that so much. But it wasn't, they were pretty much all saying the same stuff. It really wasn't nobody that came to corroborate like, hey, yes, he had trauma because his mom died when he was 11, but and it caused him to drink. And I used to say, she should have been like, I told him when he would drink, he would be a whole different person. She said she basically said, the baby mama, his alleged actions that day with Megan Pete was nothing like how he ever was. So how are you saying he got some type of diagnosis and you got all these people saying this was outside his character?
Oh my God.
Everything is so contradictory, and it didn't sound like they prepped these witnesses. I mean, they're not, well, I don't know if you want to call them witnesses. These character witnesses, I guess.
Right.
They didn't prep them. They just, Jose was asked, first a lady started talking about it. And then first a lady was like kind of giving the questions to the witnesses. And I guess she wasn't doing it for them.
Kathy Tao?
No, it was just some on the defense side. I guess she's a defense attorney. She started like questioning the witnesses or whatever, trying to prompt them. Because nobody had a speech. You know how many months y'all had to prepare these speeches for this man? And everybody would just say generally like, yeah, I'm so-and-so. I've known him for this amount of time. He's a great person. He's done so much. It was all generalized. So then it caused the lawyers to try to probe, and just ask them specifics. So they were questioning them like they were on the stand. When typically in all the sentencing, I've seen people just get up and say how they know the person. They have their own, whether it's written down or whatever.
Right.
No, it wasn't like that. It was like a question and answer. It was just so informed, so formal.
Did they walk up to a podium and start speaking, or what?
Yes.
Okay.
It was at a podium.
Okay. Wow. So this, you're a criminal defense attorney. Would you have approached this in this fashion with these I guess, collateral witnesses, or what's the term you want to use? Not impact with victim impact witnesses.
Well,
but
I would have done nothing like any. First of all, that whole trial was trash. But aside from, even if we can't go back to the trial, I think hiring trial attorneys later was a waste of money. Oh, that came up too. I guess it's a guy that he is over this big organization. He's in a management company. He like, his father is music, put something. I can't even pronounce his name right now. I'm a notepad.
Mhm.
But he essentially said that he's almost helping Tory because Tory is financially strapped at this point.
I
And
can believe
Jose
that.
Baez even mentioned that and was like, has he had struggles at times, even paying these expensive lawyers at this table? I wanted to throw my phone at him like, yeah, exactly. These expensive lawyers for no damn reason.
So what was the point of even saying that? It basically sounds like they were
No, they're saying that he gives and he gives and he gives to the point where and he didn't have a nest egg. He gives not, almost to the detriment of himself. I guess that's how much of a care as a selfless person that he is. I think is what they were trying. It was beating a dead horse. Everybody was yawning after about the fourth person. It's just like, you're beating a dead horse. Because all of the statements, it was 75 statements. The judge went through every last one of them and gave a brief, basically a summary of what everybody was saying. And that's pretty much what it was. It was a lot of his work that he's done. And the prosecution didn't negate that. I mean, they didn't try to fight it. It is what it is. I mean, he gives hundreds of thousands of dollars. He does, but he also seems to have anger issues. So let's deal with that problem.
Mike, real quick, Mike, do you have a question for Attorney Pamela?
No, I was actually just listening. I mean, it is what it is. He's pretty much gonna. I say he's gonna get like 10 years. Like that's just what it is. He has strikeable offenses. No, I'm being honest. I've been through the system with this. He has 2 strikeable offenses, and he lost that trial. Like regardless of what he's trying to do as far as work his mojo, say he has problems and all that stuff for the sentencing report. It really doesn't matter. Like you got found guilty. You had a live witness who testified against you. That's all they need. That's literally all they need. And I'm not wishing anything bad on them. Like I'm a Tory Lanez fan, but I'm being realistic. Like you have eyewitnesses saying that you did it. That's all California needs. It's in their evidence and their statute. I went through it. I understand. I had 2 people saying I beat somebody up. That's all they needed. Even if they didn't have it on camera or anything, they said I did it. I went down for it.
That's evidence. I think people don't understand that that's evidence. That's why people that were arguing with me, I'm like, he's already been convicted. And I think because he's been convicted, what Jose Baez hopes to do is that he doesn't have to admit that he did anything, that the conviction basically speaks for itself. But Megan, she also gave a statement as well. And her statement was very impactful.
Okay. Did she act in that statement? Did she ask for the judge to sentence him to a hard time?
Yeah, she basically said that she was trying to get herself to come to this hearing, but she can't even get herself to come to a room to be in the same room as Tory again. So that's why she wrote the statement. But she said she didn't want to let this go. She's standing up for all victims. She said he hasn't been remorseful at all. He doesn't take accountability. He essentially, first he said she lied, then blamed her friend. He blames everybody but himself. Her life has been hell for 2.5 years to the point where she wanted to commit suicide, and he doesn't even care. And basically, Your Honor, do what you can do, okay? do what you can do for him tormenting my life.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought the letter would be very important, and I think that this is why I agree with Mike. It's probably 10 years.
10 years, all right. I was going for 7. I was going for 7.
No, well, I don't listen.
Then I said, I started with 5. I think I'm about at 7 today. But we'll see, because we're not finished. They have a few mitigating circumstances. They gave a little bit for his philanthropy. He doesn't have priors in theory because he had that gun charge in Florida, but it was under a diversion program.
Right.
So in theory, it's not there. So
right.
He doesn't have any prior. And the stuff with August Alsina, he liked to pay people off allegedly. So that never came into a criminal.
That didn't come.
I said allegedly.
Okay. Jay, how you doing, Jay?
I'm doing good. I just had a quick question, just for clarity. Does criminal history have anything to do when it comes to sentencing cases, like currently?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a factor. Yes.
Okay. So I guess you say, like, how big of a factor is that, or does it depend on the judge?
Well, I think you would talk to, is the other end of it, Mike, are you in California? Because I'm in Michigan, so our sentencing
Yeah,
guidelines might be a little different. Yeah, you might
yeah.
want to
So
talk to Mike.
I'm here. It kind of depends if you have any similar offenses, anything similar to violence or anything like that, then yeah, they're definitely going to use it against
Sim-
you, and
Similar
it can add
acts.
a year. Yeah, it can add a year per if you have felonies, misdemeanors, whatever. It can add a year to your sentence.
Okay, because I was curious to know, like his offenses, like, of course, with different people, but most of them have to do with like violence in some type of way, So I was curious to see how that was going to affect his sentencing overall here.
Well, I don't think
Absolutely.
it's gonna affect him because he doesn't have any convictions.
Right.
He
So
doesn't have
that's a
any
factor.
convictions.
That's a
Yeah,
big factor.
he doesn't have any convictions. They did try to bring up the August Alsina because that was a part of a probation, not a probation, a bail violation, bond violation when he was out. Now, the crazy part is in the morning, I told you they were trying to get 3 aggravating factors. The judge found 2 in the afternoon. They done found the new aggravating factor on all his post conviction activity,
Mhm.
such
Oh,
as, this was
Whoa,
funny. Yeah,
whoa, that's breaking news.
remember I said that? I was like, the fact that he did those jail calls and the post, and then Jose Baez tried to get up and say he's in jail. We don't know if he's directing these people, if they're doing it on
oh,
their own. The judge said, wasn't that his voice on that audio?
Oh my God. Wait a minute.
Uh,
So so the judge, did they add that factor in? Did the judge
Yeah,
agree?
he said, I
Oh
think
my
I'm gonna
God.
add that as an aggravated. So he
Oh,
picked up one after
oh
lunch.
my goodness.
oh my God.
I got something for y'all. So I was
It's a
just thinking
joke.
about it. He's gonna get all right. So the great bodily injury, it carries 2, 4, and 6. He's gonna get the high term, which is 6, and he's gonna get a gun enhancement, which is 5 years. So he's looking at like 11 years minimum.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Minimum.
about 12 years.
Minimum. I just thought about that. He's gonna get an enhancement for
How
the
does his
gun.
mitigating factors? How do you think his mitigating factors are going to weigh in? Right now, they haven't finished all the mitigating factors, but he has about, I think, 3 right now as of when we left.
Wait a minute. He
I
got
don't,
more mitigating factors? Oh my God.
I don't think none of it's gonna matter.
He
He's gonna
did
get a
have
minimum of
a
11.
criminal record. They said the philanthropy work. The judge said even though it don't weigh that much, he said it real quick. He said even though I'm
And
not gonna weigh, it's not gonna have that much weight.
it's not gonna matter. It really doesn't matter. Like just based off of what happened and how he got convicted and what he got convicted of, the gun and the great bodily injury alone, 11 years minimum. And you guys can look it up. It's Penal Code 245.
And he'll have to do however much time he gets. What
He's
percentage
gonna
of that?
he's out of that 11 years. He might do 7, 8, 7 or 8 minimum if he
Well,
gets
he's
that.
already done 8 months, so
That
that
don't
you
matter.
some credit.
Well,
Y'all don't get
8
credit.
months to 7 years is a
No,
really long
because
time.
what they do is like, okay, so he's earning credit like day for day right now while he's in the county jail, but because they're violent felonies, they're only going to give him 15% credit. They're not going
oh,
to give him like 50% credit. But when he gets to CDCR, they are going to reduce his time by like a couple years. They're gonna reduce it. So like when he gets there, you can look his you can look his name up in the corrections department maybe like a month later, and you'll see his actual date. It takes like a month, and you'll see it.
so
Wow. Well, that's news to me. Yeah, you guys do things a little bit.
yeah,
I
look,
mean, the fact that this hearing is I don't know if this is common. I've never had no sentencing last like this. In federal court, it's lasted a little bit longer, and you have people that talk. But it was really the judge was asking questions. It was a lot going on today.
and I think the fact that the judge was asking questions is different than a lot of the sentencing hearings I go to. The judge has already made his mind up.
Exactly when they walk in the door, right? They already got their opinion how they gonna recite it.
Right.
They read it off the paper.
That's it. So but one thing I like about this judge is that he's very attentive to what's happening, because there's some judges I've watched that might be polishing their nails or maybe sending emails out during the lawyers talking. You've seen it.
I had one of them. I had one
Right.
of them in a criminal trial.
Yeah.
Yep.
But this judge is listening to
Oh,
everything.
he's very attentive. He was very, very attentive. To me, like I said, Tory looked like spaced out to me. I don't know.
Oh my
He
goodness.
he
So-
like on these staring trances almost. It was like, you okay, buddy?
Did anything stand out? Like, first of all, I heard some chatter about someone pretty much verbally attacking Megan, but not her like at the courtroom, but saying some very unpleasant things about her in the court in the hallway. Is that true?
Oh, if it did, I wasn't in the hallway.
Okay.
If that happened.
Okay.
I have no knowledge and information about that incident.
I'm staying on. He's going to get 10 years. Mike says 11.
Now, what I have seen though is, you know how the father is very nice to people and talkative. He ain't talking to nobody. He said,
really?
"Oh, we could all kick rocks." Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because
but he did, when he did his statement, he did apologize to the judge for that outburst he did.
Well, you got to think. All these people are here. It is sentencing. It's already sentencing. The dad is there, and he don't know why, if they're his supporters or, it's kind of, this is at the final stage of at this court level that, he's going to see these, all the people there. Has there been a lot of turnout with the supporters? Was the courtroom packed?
It's the same people you saw before.
Okay.
It's not really anybody new, and it's not even real crowded either.
Really?
There's more reporters. Like E was here, Entertainment Tonight. That Kevin Frazier, he was here.
See, they see, Kevin. Shout out to Kevin Frazier, but they come at the final hour when we show up at the beginning. What is this? You guys don't got to put the work in. You guys want to come.
It was about 5 different people that were major networks that I know weren't there when
we were there, right? None of those networks you naming were there. We know TMZ's in the building, of course, but the other ones,
Megan Cuna.
Of what we know, Megan's there.
Gonna be there.
Yeah, we know the usual suspects that will be there. But it's when you have. I'm not going to bash Kevin, but where were you doing the trial?
So as far as tomorrow, like, what is it just going to be him giving his verdict as far as sentencing, or is there stuff to conclude tomorrow and then sentencing?
Well, it's supposed to be, they didn't finish the mitigating factors. It's something else they're supposed to weigh. I'm not familiar with, I wrote the name down. I have to look it up because we don't do that. And then they have to do summation. So they get to both, do their last plea and their last call. And then he should be getting sentenced. I will presume, I don't see why the judge should take that under advisement or anything.
Are they're going to be reviewing mitigating factors for Tory tomorrow?
Yeah. Yep, he's allowed mitigating factors.
I just because one of his background too come into effect for his sentencing as well, with him having a violent background. Even outside of August, you have Prince from Love Hip Hop, that guy Christopher Hardy. You have Travis. You have allegedly an ex-girlfriend where he was violent with. So as long as he's never been charged with anything, it doesn't come into effect the because I'm thinking 12 years, all because he has a violent background. He was mocking during the whole trial. He didn't show any remorse. He wrote a whole album. He did post. He did tweet.
Hold on. Are you asking a question or are you making a statement? Which one is it?
Both. I'm saying it to her, like all of those things. Wouldn't that come into to affect the sentencing as well? All of those things don't come as a factor.
So there are factors when you go through the sentencing guidelines, and we have not gotten to those factors. Like, we haven't gotten to all of them. So I will definitely let you know if there's something that is comparable to that. But it sounds like he doesn't. One of his mitigating factors is that he does not have a past criminal record. So I'm going to go out on a limb to say that that's not going to be anything that affects some negativity because the court already gave it a positive.
So Tory Williams asked, did Pam hear what the lawyers said after the court ended?
I did. I actually videotaped it until Dennis called me and cut it off, and then I messed it up, and then I had to re-record it. Anything else?
We can't unring that bell, ladies and gentlemen. She already put me on blast.
Thanks for reminding me, though.
Oh my goodness. Can you at least talk about what he said? That like, what did he really say at the end of the court?
So I don't know. I'll send you the video.
Well, they want to know.
Well, it's about 10 minutes. He started out just basically, of course, they want him in treatment. The lady that came, the psychologist that came, her job, I guess she has some treatment facility, and it's supposed to be for alcohol, but they found out, according to her and her professional career, typically there's an underlying mental health issue. So this facility is something where you can go in for treatment and your mental health. And so that's what they're trying to get him, a year treatment, saying also he's been in for almost a year. So that should be enough. That's what Jose Baez is going by.
Good luck on
and
that.
Then,
Oh, wow.
And he also said he was maintaining his innocence.
Oh God.
He's still, he's not going to discuss the appellate stuff because basically, I guess he didn't realize they didn't talk enough. Because I thought it was dumb when Jose Baez posted in his story about the DNA. He allowed you were his counsel when he did them stupid videos, the recordings.
Right, that part.
And you guys are the ones that fought for the gag order to be lifted. He need a gag order because he can't help himself.
Right.
They trying to get him a deferred entry of judgment, like alternative sentencing.
Deferment, mental health, whatever.
Yeah, because I've seen that happen before, where they give.
That's what they were trying to do.
It's not gonna work.
I was about to ask you, how successful has that approach worked?
For people with drug offenses, it works a lot, but not for violence. For violence, you're going down, man. I'm just being honest, man. I'm keeping it real, man. Like I'm telling you, I beat somebody up and got 4 years. So he's involved in a shooting. Not saying he did it or he didn't do it, but you're involved with a shooting. That's different. You know what I mean? So you gotta be realistic about it. Like
I definitely think he needs some type of like help, because just being honest, like with how many like violent situations consistently come up with him, I definitely think he needs some type of help because it stems from somewhere. I'm not saying that all of those are true because who knows, but I'm saying like I know that can't be helpful. I do think he needs some type of help, some type of way, but I don't see how that's going to completely just let's forget about it serving any time and just put you in a facility.
No, I'm gonna have to agree with Mike. When you have violent cases, drug treatment programs are not usually given to people who have a propensity to commit violent acts. If you are selling drugs, you get arrested for drugs or having weight or whatever the case is, you're more likely to get that treatment than someone who, and like Mike said, got in a fight. Then you might have had a gun, and then you might have robbed a bank. Those type of things is not getting a drug treatment program. Those are very rarely that you will see someone get those type of deferments.
Only way I've seen that happen is if like somebody was like super under the influence of like crystal meth or something when they did something wild. That's the only time I've seen something like that happen here. Other than that, nah, you're gonna do some time.
Tory's not Hunter Biden. He's not Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden.
So Dennis, do you think that they would put him in something like anger management or something then?
Well, that may now. Mike, what do you think about anger management?
Yeah, they're gonna put him in anger management in jail. When he goes to jail, they're gonna tell him like, all right, you have to do mandatory substance abuse treatment in prison, and you have to do mandatory anger management in prison, and he'll get like like a month or two off every year, every time he does a class or something. But like I'm telling y'all, man, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but he's gonna do some time, man.
No matter how much programming he does, he's gonna get some serious time.
You're gonna do some time, man. It's not a game. They don't take violence lightly here. They literally try to make examples out of you. They changed some things in LA County for, you know, gang enhancements and stuff. But
Mhm.
even those gentlemen, like they still getting, you get caught with a gun, 6 years. Like they're not playing with that.
They getting 6 years for a gun first time.
No. If you already have a pass, you're going to do 6 years now.
Oh, okay. Simeon. Am I pronounce your name right?
Shanoa. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Shanoa.
Shanoa.
Yeah, Shanoa. Yeah. How you doing?
Good. What questions do you have?
Just one question, and there's a couple of things I want to say. I agree with the gentleman with what he was saying. And I don't know really much about the legal system just in general, and especially over there. I'm over here on the East Coast, but he just doesn't seem like he is sorry. He's not even admitting that he did anything. And if I'm not mistaken, his statement or what he wanted to say to the court was something to the effect of, oh, well, you know, I didn't do it, but if I did,
Right.
it was because I had such and such. I don't think that any judge worth their salt is going to take that type of a statement seriously, right?
Right.
You know, I think we can all come to the conclusion that he did do it. You know, there are going to be Tory Lanez supporters who say that he didn't. Okay, whatever. At the end of the day, you have to stand 10 toes down. Like if you're saying you didn't do it, then that's it. I didn't do it, and I'm sorry for all of, you know, the pain that has, you know, happened over because of the incident that happened or whatever. But you're not even trying to admit that you did anything wrong.
The pendulum is moving too much.
Right.
It's
So,
not-
yeah. So I think that the judge is, you know, going to take that into consideration. This is my question that I had I think there's a lawyer here on the panel. Can the judge, like, if he felt like it, let's just say that Tory Lanez did, you know, like, he was repentant, right? And he was like, yeah, you know, I'm very sorry, this, that, and the third. Could the judge say, hey, you know, I'm just going to give him a couple of years, or is the judge bound to give him a hefty sentence regardless? That's what I wanted to know.
Well, Pam don't need to answer that. I think Mike can answer that. Mike.
Okay.
The judge can actually give him whatever he wants. He could go under the minimum if he wanted to too, but in order to do that, he has to provide a lot of mitigating circumstances, and I don't think he got that. Like, you need a lot, because the judge has the discretion to pretty much do anything he wants in regards to enhancements.
Right. So there's no mandatory minimums in this case.
No, it's no mandatory. Well, there's a mandatory minimum. Like I said, for the assault with great bodily injury, the minimum is 2 years. So if he wants to go under the minimum, he can, but the likelihood, nah.
I just want to say one other thing really quickly. I personally believe that he's guilty of what he's been accused of. But one thing okay, when I first found out about this whole situation, I was really, really upset, angry, and stuff like that. And I am still very angry at what happened to, you know, Meg Thee Stallion and stuff like that. But I do think that this could be a case study in how we raise our children. You know, throughout the course of the trial, we got to find out a lot more about Tory Lanez. We got to find out a lot more about his family and his upbringing. And I'm not saying that I'm excusing his behavior. I'm not. But what I will say is, I think that children need a chance. It's children who are troubled, children who are, you know, quote unquote, problem children need a chance in life. And, you know, he spoke about his upbringing, and he spoke about essentially being abandoned when he was a young person, right? He spoke about this in his music and stuff like that. And he's an example of what happens when you don't raise children, and then you come back around and don't hold them accountable for anything. You understand? One thing that really disturbed me was Sunstar's behavior after what happened in the court. And he went on a big rant and stuff like that. And he reminded me, I have a daughter myself. My daughter she's 26, but I remember going to school, going up to school for parent teacher. And there was always that same parent there, right? Who was screaming and yelling at the child. They didn't do well throughout the year, and they themselves are embarrassed, but they're screaming and yelling at the child. It's 7, 8 o'clock at night, and we're in the school, and the teacher is there. Other people are around. You're screaming and yelling at the child because they aren't doing well. Like, you didn't know the child wasn't doing well. You know what I mean? Like, you're putting on a whole big scene. Where were you? Like, you weren't around. And I'm not excusing Tory Lanez's behavior. All I'm saying is that kids need a chance. Problem kids need a chance. Nobody wanted to pay this young kid attention, and he was basically on his own, damn near homeless for several years in his youth. And then now all of a sudden, the father's there screaming, yelling, making a scene, talking about, what are it, Jay-Z and Rock Nation. And, don't get me wrong. We understand the industry has its own set of, problems. And don't get me wrong.
But Jay-Z wasn't on trial.
Right.
I think
right.
The dad's demeanor, what the judge may view that as indicative of his son's behavior.
Right.
And you it's like, I have children myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like to think that each one of my children has a piece of me, and it will play out at some point in their life.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So Tory's behavior, we don't know what the relationship is between the father and the son.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that those outbursts were made, although he apologized today,
mm-hmm.
made, and I've covered so many court cases, and I've seen how families get, it gets crazy in the courtroom when they learn that their family members is going to get a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you got to go in there, you have to, because the judge's still looking at it. Judge can do anything. He may render a decision today and may reconsider down the road.
Right.
He can come back in 4 years from now through a habeas corpus filing and say, okay, yeah, maybe he deserves a new trial because there's new evidence. So they call it a writ of a habeas corpus, produce the person back to court to maybe it's new evidence. So, but that's why you got to play this thing to the door, and that may be to the appeals court.
Mm-hmm.
You got to keep your composure.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I 100% agree with you. I just, that's really all I wanted to say. This is an unfortunate situation all the way around. I feel horrible for, Meg Thee Stallion. She's endured a lot more than a lot of us could probably handle, right? Being in the public eye and being faced with such vitriol throughout, the course of this past couple of years. And I believe
her career took a hit.
Her career definitely took a hit. Is she going to be respected in the hip hop sphere? The way that she should be? No, because this is going to be a cloud over her head. But she's going to be okay. She'll get acting work and she'll get other work and stuff like that. But I mean, at her core, she's a hip hop artist. This is what she wants to do, right? So it's like it's sad all the way around. But I do believe that justice is going to be served. I do believe justice is going to be served, and hopefully this young man can learn from this situation.
And before you leave, I want to ask you, how much time do you think he should receive?
I think that he should receive 8 years in prison.
Okay.
The reason why I'm saying he should receive 8 years in prison is because it's enough time to reflect on what he's done, and it's also enough time for him to still have some semblance of a career when he gets out of prison.
Right, and I agree with you there, because there's also a high recidivism rate, and judges should be sentencing people where there's no way for them to come out and then have to result in some type of other behavior. So I think judges factor that in as well. And the Judge Hereford is a former defense attorney. So, so that may play into it as well.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for this live stream. Thank you for your work. I follow you. I've been following you for the longest time. So thank you I was on the show before. You don't remember me, but I was on your panel and stuff a long time ago.
Oh my goodness.
Absolutely.
Oh my
But yeah, but thank you so much for having me on. I'm gonna sign off. But
God.
I'll definitely be watching.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
Okay, there. Take care. All right. Bye bye.
Anyone else have any questions? I know a young lady came up, but I don't think you spoke too much. Oh, yes, you did. You did speak a lot. Jay, what are you doing, Jay? You're quiet out there, Jay. What's
Oh
up?
no, I was just trying to like hear her perspective. I think for me, I think this has been a very interesting like case to watch. The after effect seemed kind of just as traumatizing as kind of what happened. Um just kind of watching like honestly the music video he did where he was like chopping horse meat
Horses,
in the
yes,
that like some of it was
yes.
just like it was genuinely
Ugh.
traumatizing. And like looking at it, like I'm 26. So, she's fairly close to my age. So just kind of being in that particular, like if you put yourself in her shoes, like being in a situation where you are shot and then to have it play out publicly the way it has, and to have the narrative immediately kind of be just so skewed against you, on top of being in the hip hop community, it was
It was in poor
traumatizing
taste.
to
It was in
witness.
poor taste.
It was very traumatizing to witness, but like that video has always stuck with me because I've never seen the video completely out, but when he put it out, everybody was putting clips on like Instagram, and just some of the
Hmm.
stuff he was doing was disturbing. So that's why I said I do think he needs some form of help, because you can see when someone has broken pieces, and I can definitely like agree that I do think his upbringing has contributed to some of the stuff that he's going through now. um
Nope.
but I'm not saying that's going to help him, but what I'm saying is I do think that sometimes the way that people are raised does affect the adult that they become, or the way that they at least process anger or communicate themselves. So I do think he does need some type of help when it comes to his anger, because I don't if he keeps going this way, it like you see where we're at now, like.
Well, the jail, that's what jail is for, for people who have committed crimes that involve, you know, anger management. And most people in jails because most people are in jail and for violent crimes because of acting out in the heat of the moment. Would you agree, Mike?
Yeah. To kind of piggyback off what she's saying, like I understand what she's trying to say and the message she's delivering, but I'm gonna tell you what they're gonna look at. So how old is Tory? Well,
Exactly.
they're
Mhm.
gonna look at it like this because they're gonna say, well, he's 33 years old. He's had ample amount of time to change his ways and things like that. Now, if he
Mhm.
was like 22, 23, then the judge can say, like, all right, he's a young man, made a dumb mistake. I
Right.
might have some leniency on him, give him a chance. But at this point in his life, they're not gonna really show any kind of empathy for that. And that's kind of how they rule with their sentences and things like that. I got in trouble when I was 27. I tried everything in the book. I tried everything, and they were just like, "Nah, young man, like you knew better. You were in the military. You whatever, all types of stuff." So it's just the cards didn't go his way. I don't know what his plan was, what he was trying to do, but it just didn't go the way he thought it was going to go. Honestly,
I
Now,
think,
how do you think this is going to? I'm sorry. Go ahead, Dennis. I
yeah,
was
I,
going
I
to
just
ask.
think that give me. I think his defense strategy played a major role in the outcome, and I think that maybe not now, but maybe in the next couple of years, he'll realize that the team he had was awful. It was awful. Team was awful. Let's just be honest. From George
True, but
McGinnis to to blaming using Kelsey as an
Mhm.
alternate consideration. I think that was just the worst approach in the case. And once that came in, now you're playing in the judge's face. You're playing with the jury. You're playing in the jury's face, and they
Mhm.
saw that. I watched those jurors. They were honed in on what Kelsey said in September interview, and then what she got on the stand and say. Because if you listen to the audio, which many people have had the opportunity to listen to she came across as believable in the September interview.
Mhm. Because she went point by point in the September, like she was.
Right. And then she broke down. It was a moment when she broke down.
Mm-hmm. She was very, very detailed, and then to get up there and just be like, basically, I remember this, but I remember nothing about oh, I don't recall any of that. That just makes it sound even more sketchy. So it like this whole thing honestly was just weird. But I definitely think when he reflects, he'll realize like his legal representation was trash.
He should have
And
took the
I
deal.
don't yeah, and
They took the deal.
I don't
Should have
think
took
his
the deal.
behavior after like after the incident helped at all. Like between his legal representation and then the stuff that he was doing after the fact, none of that helped him.
I, I
That's
Mike, I talked to someone who told me that at arraignment, they knew they did what's wrong, and they wanted to see what the deal was right there at arraignment.
Yeah, you gotta like sometimes you gotta just take the deal. And I was like, man, look, I was on a bunch of lives. I was arguing with a bunch of people in the comments and stuff. They kept saying, oh, he's gonna face immigration and all this stuff. Okay, if you get in trouble here in California, yes, ICE will come and talk to you, and they will tell you like you may be deported. It doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get deported. You can get probation. You can, if you fulfill your probation obligation, you're good. Like they're not going to mess with you. But they also going to say like if you get in trouble within 5 years, and yeah, you're out of here. So no one knew what happened. But if I was him, I would have took the deal and just hey, did my little year, whatever they were offering him, and just got it out the way. And you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And
you just took the words out of my mouth because I was going to ask you, is that a deportable offense?
It is violence and drugs. It's always
Mhm.
you can get deported for domestic violence. So
Yeah.
it just you know what I mean, and that could be considered a misdemeanor here. But at the same time, like yeah, you gotta weigh your options, man. Like you roll the dice, and now he's here.
all right, well, everyone, I do appreciate you, coming on. I think I've heard from everybody. Uh, any final words, Mike?
No, man. Everybody just stay blessed, man. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. Jay?
No, I'm just interested for tomorrow. I was hoping we would have a verdict for today.
Sentence. I put verdict there, but it's sentence. Excuse it.
Oh no, you fine. I'm in sentencing. I was hoping that we would have a sentencing decision today. So I'm just interested to see what's gonna happen tomorrow, and just hopefully we'll see. Hopefully the fallout from it isn't too crazy in the community.
Absolutely.
But thank you for letting me come on. I'm gonna hop down.
Absolutely. Okay, Hot D.
Yes, thank you so much, Dennis. You're awesome. I watched you during the trial as well, and thank you for letting me up. And you gave me a lot of insight from a legal standpoint versus emotional. So I really appreciated that. So thank you very much.
And don't be a stranger.
Sure won't. Thank you.
All right, guys. So there you have it, man. We are still going to be waiting for the what the judge decides, but we definitely have things to consider and think about. As this case comes to a conclusion. Um, it's I don't know, just the Q&A part of what happened today will probably be how the judge comes up with his decision. Like this judge is asking a lot of questions. And I think that's important for not just for Tory, but for the defense attorney to think about how he could have approached the situation differently because he will go on to represent someone else and Tory will go on to do whatever time he has to do. But the difference is they both have an opportunity to change their approach in these type of cases. Now, will the lawyer change his approach based on what he's done in this case or based on the totality of what he's done in multiple cases? And in Tory's case, I feel there's an opportunity for him to redeem himself. It's just, the whole accountability thing that I think a lot of people have been wrestling with. Those who have actually watched the trial and listened to the evidence, the accountability. And this is not even a case of he say, she say, because there are other people that kind of supported the outcome based on their testimony and or behavior. So we'll see tomorrow. We'll see if the hammer comes down hard or it comes down with some type of compassion. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I do appreciate you coming in. I don't know if anyone else have any other questions. I'm going to read a few here real quick. Let's see here. What do we have? Well, what was the deal? There's no deal. Let's see. Okay, Ronnie Wright. Ronnie, are you the Ronnie Wright from? Are you the photographer, Ronnie Wright? I don't know. I know a Ronnie Wright in New York. I don't know if you're the Ronnie Wright, my guy, not Ronnie Wright, because I can't really see the thumbnail. But uh, let's see here. Ronnie, you've been doing a lot of talking here. I see here. Okay, let's see here. All right. Let's see here. Okay, I don't see any pressing questions right now. So we're gonna do this tomorrow. We'll see what the we'll post the link on Twitter when we go live. I think this will probably come to a conclusion by lunchtime tomorrow. By lunchtime tomorrow, I think this will come to a conclusion. Uh, but we started, we're going to finish it. We started with this covering this trial, we're going to finish it into its conclusion. In any case, guys, I appreciate you. I really do. And we're going to take this out of here like so.